Ancient Persians gave New Year's gifts of eggs, which symbolize productiveness. There are individual differences in the need to nap. Some adults and children need to nap. However, the majority of teenagers probably napped in the afternoon because they are not sleeping enough at night. If you're a child laborer for Apple or any of its suppliers and you are found out, your education is paid along with wages while studying and guaranteed job at the end of your education. In the second episode of the first season, Lawnmower Dog was based on a pilot that Justin Roiland developed for Cartoon Network called Dog World. In the episode, Rick and Morty allude to the show in their dialogue. How your teeth are arranged in your mouth is as unique as your fingerprint. Nobody else has a smile like yours. NBA players run as much as 4 miles during a game. Typewriter is the longest word that you can write using the letters only on one row of the keyboard of your computer. Although it's never been explicitly confirmed by Sega, anonymous sources have reported that Michael Jackson, yes, the king of pop himself, worked on the soundtrack to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Zack and Screech are the only 2 characters to appear in every single episode of the original show. However, Screech is the only character in every single original Saved by the Bell episode, spin-off of the series, and movie. In Japan and possibly America, black buns exist as an alternative to the plain and apparently unappealing brown bun. K-pop actually began in the 1990s, but it goes way back, like the 1960s. The guy who was best known for playing Barney was the longest time was a man named David Joyner. However, Barney wasn't the only character Joyner played. He played a character named Hip Hop. Wait. Does anyone remember that show? Did anyone watch it? Oceans have an average depth of 2.5 miles. Black eyed peas, ham, and cabbage are considered good luck if you eat them on New Year's Eve or day because it believes they will bring you money. People used to brush their teeth using twigs or their fingers before toothbrushes were invented. The first toothbrush tool dates back to 3500 BC to Egyptian times. There are more than 5,000 new computer viruses are released every month. The walking stick has the ability to regenerate lost limbs. The first recorded description of a possible dinosaur bone discovery dates back to 3,500 years ago in China. At the time, people did not know about dinosaurs, so they thought their discovery, which was some dinosaur teeth, belonged to dragons. From 1904 to 1948, there was an 18th Street station on the 456 line. It's abandoned now, but you can still see it on local 6 trains. Diseases can be spread from monkey to humans include Ebola, Reston, B virus, monkeypox, yellow fever, Simian, and other diseases not yet known or identified. The show wants everyone on The Office to guest star. During an interview at San Diego Comic-Con, Adam Motul and Kem Obsponen of Adventure Time said they want to bring the entire cast of Office and Star Trek The Next Generation for guest stars. Al Pacino was the first face on Facebook. A very early iteration of the site displays a header image featuring a man face obscured behind binary code. The identity of the man could not be seen clearly, but it later came to light that the face was that of acclaimed actor Al Pacino. High amount of injuries in professional dancing is inducted by high-level of little time for rest, inadequate healing techniques, and high stress levels. All those factors can produce burnout periods when dancers have decreased strength coordinations. Anime is, in fact, an abbreviated pronunciation of animation in Japan. It began in 1917 by Japanese artist Shimokawa Oten, Genuki Kochi, and Setao Kitayama. The US is the third largest country in the world by landmass, nearly as big as the entire continent of Europe. It is also the third most visited country by international tourists after Spain and France. When it comes to my favorite TV shows, it could be obviously Doctor Who, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, Steven Universe, the new show Victor and Valentino. There's a lot of good shows out there that I like. Oh, and Made with Children. It was agreed that the film would be a children's musical and that Dahl himself would write the screenplay. However, the title was changed to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The showrunners didn't tell Network executive that Steve Carell would be in the finale. They kept it a secret until the episode aired and gave Michael's line to Creed in the table read. The US Postal Service delivers 20 billion cards and packaging between Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. Xenophobia is the persistent fear of snow, especially becoming trapped by snow. Hollywood has never known what on earth to do with Doctor Who, so has mostly left him alone. But in the 80s, according to the book Now and on the big screen, the unofficial and unauthorized guide to Doctor Who at the cinema, Paramount Pictures considered making a Who film with the Moonwalker era Michael Jackson. Geckos, a popular Halloween fixture, symbolize the ancient agricultural roots of the holiday. Popsicles, a popular summer treat, was accidentally invented by an 11-year-old boy in San Francisco in 1905. He left a glass of soda sitting outside, and by the next morning, the soda had frozen. He began selling them at an amusement park in New Jersey. In the US, cherry is the #1 flavor.
When a spider travels, it always has 4 legs touching the ground and 4 legs off the ground at any given moment.
In 2006, Queen's Greatest Hits album became the best-selling album of all time in the UK, as proven by a study by the official UK charts company, beating the likes of the Beatles and Oasis. The show was supposed to end in 2006, but then it was revived in 2008 because of an introduction to a new character, which would be Poof. Jim, the oldest member of the group. He likes to eat a lot and tries many kinds of food. So he does a lot of exercise to lose weight, and so he can eat more. A group of vampires has variously been called a clutch, blood, coven, pack, or a clan. In 1955, Burger King's logo was a king atop a burger holding an oversized drink. This soon lost fashion and developed in 1969 into a bun sandwiching the words Burger King. There are a lot of sea creatures that were able to adapt their bodies to withstand the high pressure found at the deepest corner of the ocean. Power Rangers was inspired by Spider-Man. Sammy Davis Jr. wanted to play Bill, the candy store owner, but Stewart did not like the idea because he felt that the presence of a big store in a candy store scene would break the reality. There is no set number of colors in a rainbow because each hue blends into next without a hard boundary. The war claimed to live of at least 6,000 men a day. More than 9 million soldiers died during the fight. Studies indicate that children's physical activity levels correlate closely with those of their parents. Every winter, at least one Spectillion snow crystals falls from the sky. Spectillions are 1 followed by 24 zeros. While never fully shown on TV and with very small clips on the internet, the Dora the Explorer pilot originally shown that Boots the monkey was yellow. Nico is based on the henchman from behind enemy lines. Boy band NSYNC made a cameo in Attack of the Clones at the request of George Lucas's daughter. They were edited out of the final cut. Germany is the EU's largest economy with the gross domestic product of $3.73 trillion and lies 4th place in the world behind the US, China, and Japan. It's true that YouTube dominates in the world of videos, but in terms of user numbers, Facebook still comes out ahead. A 2014 Pew Research Centered studies say that 77% of Americans are on Facebook, but only 63% are on YouTube. Both social media giants are still towering over the other networks, like LinkedIn at 25%, Google Plus at 24%, and Twitter at 21%. In 1986, after leaving Apple, Steve Jobs helped fund a small computer graphics company. That company was named the Graphics Group and later came to be known as Pixar. In 1985, on the Jobs funding, they created Toy Story. From Russia with Love was the last film President John F. Kennedy ever saw. The Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, and his companion, Romana, who was played by Lala Wood, were doing advertisements on computers back in the 1980s. You could see them on the DVD release of The Destiny of the Daleks, and you can also see it on YouTube. Tweety Bird is a male. Don't even think that he's a freaking female because he is a male. Newborns sleep a total of 14 to 17 hours a day on an irregular schedule with the periods of 1 to 3 hours spent awake. The voice of Cosmo, Timmy's dad, and Jorgen were all played by Daryl Norris, who later in the Fairy Odd movie, he played Timmy's dad with Drake Bell. Out of all the 90s shows, SpongeBob is the only show that is still airing on Nickelodeon. In an effort to replace Curly, hundreds of actors test for the part, but none to the studio's liking, promoting Shemp Howard to rejoin the Stooges in 1946. Earth is really turning into Ooh. Adventure Time is officially starting to split over into the real world. Besides painted buildings, Cartoon Network Amazon theme park in Thailand actually features its own section for the show, while in Taiwan became home to high-speed rail featuring Adventure Time characters. In addition, the cardboard games from fan favorite season 4 episode of the same name has actually become a real thing. In 1992, instead of engaging in a messy legal battle over the use of slogan, the CEOs of Southwest Airlines and Stevens Aviation simply wrestled for whose company would own it. We are about 1 centimeter taller in the morning than in the evening. It can take as many as 15 years to grow a tree of typical height, 6 to 7 feet, or as little as 4 years, but the average growing time is 7 years. First broadcast television commercial lasted for 20 seconds in 1941 during the game between Brooklyn Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies, and was for a clock manufactured by Bulova Corporation. Each protagonist in GTA 5 represents a different type of GTA player. Pistons can't push obsidians or bedrock blocks. Real people are naming their kids after Game of Thrones characters. John Krasinski shot the footage of Scranton for the opening credits after he found out he was cast as Jim. He visited Scranton for research and interviewed employees at actual paper companies. The tradition of football games on Thanksgiving dates back to 1934 when the Detroit Lions played the Chicago Bears in the first NFL game broadcast nationally. George A. Richards, a radio executive and owner of the Detroit Lions team, wanted to gain the attention of fans with a Thanksgiving Day game. His idea worked, and all 26,000 tickets sold out 2 weeks before the kickoff. The Lions have hosted a Thanksgiving game each year since. The Dallas Cowboys also began hosting on Thanksgiving in 1966, and a third game was added with rotating matchups in 2006. The sorcerer in Fantasia is called Yen Sid, which may ring a bell if you read backwards. The first draft of the pilot was completed in 6 hours in Dan Harmon's unfinished community office. Dan Harmon is allegedly a procrastinator, so Roland forced him to stay inside until the first draft was completed. Originally, 2 teams of 9 players made up a basketball game, a number that was based on the standard number of players on a baseball team. Later, the team were reduced to 5 players on the court. Of course, Ward gave himself the best character to voice. He provides a very distinctive voice of Lumpy Space Princess, although his favorite character is actually BMO. Earth has several layers with unique chemical and semantic properties: crust, upper mantle, transition region, lower mantle, D layer, outer cone, and the inner cone from the surface. Disney Empire grew in the 2010s, as in 2012 they acquired Star Wars and Fox earlier this year in March. They already owned Marvel back in 2009. Disney was also able to launch their streaming site, Disney Plus, back in November, which carries all these properties and many more. The highest roller coaster at Six Flags is Kingda Ka. The height is 456 feet and the speed is 120 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds.
Spiders are found on every continent except Antarctica. An estimate of 1 million spiders live in an acre of land. The number might be closer to 3 million in the tropics. It is estimated that a human is never more than 10 feet away from a spider. Ever!
Irish marriage lasts an average of 13 years, although the majority did not end in divorce. Irish couples prefer to separate and live in sin with their new partners rather than go through costly legal proceedings. Seinfeld would rewrite his jokes at least 50 times before settling on the correct version. The brain itself cannot feel pain. While the brain might be the pain center when you cut your finger or burn yourself, the brain itself does not have pain receptors and cannot feel pain. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, also known as UNICEF, there are 2,106 million children under the age 18 in the world. If there are on average 2.5 children per household, Santa would have to make 842 million stops on Christmas Eve, traveling 221 million miles. To reach all 842 million stops, Santa would need to travel between houses in 2 out of 10,000 seconds, which means he would need to accelerate 12.19 million miles per second on each stop. The force of this acceleration would reduce Santa to chunky salsa. Originally, JYP Entertainment was going to form a boy band called One Day, which is an 11-member boy band. Eventually, it would be split into 2 groups called 2 AM and 2 PM. Benjamin Franklin invented the first mechanical model of the musical instrument in 1761. It was also believed that the glass harmonica was the first musical instrument ever invented by the American National. Avocados contain more fat than any other fruit or vegetable on earth. Also, they're trees' secrets and enzymes that prevent the fruit from ever ripening on the tree, allowing farmers to use the trees as storage house for up to 7 months after they reach full maturity. This is the reason avocados are always in season. The name grizzly bear refers to silver-tipped or grizzled hair of a brown bear. The word summer is from a Proto-Indo-European root, sam, meaning summer. The root sam is a variant from the Proto-Indo-European root, sem, which means together/one. In the 1980s, Domino's Pizza had a campaign centered around the Noid. It was discontinued in 1989 after a mentally ill man named Kenneth Noid took Domino's Pizza workers hostage after he thought the ads were a personal attack on him. It's not exactly clear if turkey was served at the first Thanksgiving. Through colonists and Native Americans, they eat wild turkey, according to the Plymouth Plantation. An account of the first Thanksgiving from Edward Winslow mentions hunters who brought plenty of fowl, which probably includes ducks, geese, swan, and perhaps turkeys, along with venison, lobsters, mussels, and grapes. Items from our typical Thanksgiving dinner, such as cranberry sauce, sweet potatoes, and pumpkin pie, were absent from the first table. Sugar was expensive at the time, and the Pilgrims likely had none. Potatoes, which originated in South America, also had not yet made their way into the North American diet. Before the modern version of Santa Claus became popular in Scandinavia, Scandinavian countries believe in a magical Yule goat. The goat would wander around to ensure families were preparing for Yule and demanding gifts on the side. In 1990, Sega set out to design a new mascot that could compete with Nintendo's world-famous plumber, Mario. Its then major character, Alex Kidd, hadn't had the required impact, and a change from pace was needed. Thus, Sonic was born. A traditional Christmas cocktail in the US was named a Tom and Jerry. It was made from eggnog and rum. The cocktail was invented by the author of the book Life in London, Paris Egan. Mario made its first appearance in an arcade video game called Donkey Kong on July 9th, 1981 in Japan and July 31st, 1981 in the US. The LA Times wrote an article describing the second-hand roller coaster market, pointing out that the Roadrunner at Six Flags Magic Mountain was purchased used. The article explains, industry's experts estimate that the ride cost $3 million to $5 million when it was bought new in 2000 today. Industry's experts estimate that the ride cost $3 million to $5 million when it was bought new in 2000. Today, similarly used roller coasters less than 700 feet long are advertised on theme park websites for $90,000 to about $200,000. The largest living dragonfly lived over 250 million years ago, before the dinosaurs, and had a wingspan over 3 feet. The highest mountain known to man is the Olympus Mount, which is located on Mars. It peaks its 15 miles or 25 kilometers high, making it nearly 3 times higher than Mount Everest. Originally, Crane, the creepy living brain, was not evil. The villain was inspired by an alien race known as Ultrums, totally peaceful and non-interfering creatures from another planet. Bears live as long as 30 years in the wild. One captive brown bear lived to the age of 47. Damn, it's really long. Even with their success, Burger King still lives in the shadow of McDonald's, advertising themselves as the second largest fast food hamburger chain. Jokes about Mario doing drugs are more than a joke. Wait.
What?
And finally, the number one fact is... this show's over. Good night, bitch!
Was that necessary?
I didn't know what I was doing with the pillow. I kind of like this one better.
Then I gotta bleep it.